This is the new Insta360 One RS. Well, actually it's being renamed to just be Insta360 RS. I don't know why they're renaming it that way, but they're gonna do what they're gonna do. So big disclaimer, they did send it to me and I get to keep it, but they have no control over what I say in this video and I have no obligation to say anything good. Let's start off with the interesting things about this, because this is an action camera and I'm sure we're all familiar with the concept of an action camera at this point. I mean, we've all seen GoPros and the like, but there are a lot of interesting things about this. And the first most exciting thing about this is its modularity. Now, this is not the first Insta360 camera to have modularity, but it's definitely not going to be the last because it's a very useful feature that I absolutely adore. So modularity means you can take this camera apart like Lego pieces. You have like a little camera module, then you have like the center control module where you put your SD card and connect everything, and then you have your battery module that is for battery. Also, this new Insta360 One RS battery is bigger than the last generation R model, so you're gonna get better battery life and less likelihood of missing the shot because you have to swap batteries out. Although swapping out batteries is already very convenient. But that's not just the only advantage of this disassembly system, this modularity. Another big advantage is the flexibility you have from the creative standpoint. So you can change this camera module out, this little camera module out for many different other modules of the like. So on the extreme end of things, you can go from this normal 16mm equivalent f2.4 4K camera module to this, a 360 camera module, which allows you to shoot 360 video. Now, I personally am not the biggest fan of 360 video, but I can see a lot of advantages to 360 video. For one, 360 video captures everything, so you're never gonna miss a shot, miss a detail. And if you're someone like riding a motorbike and you mount a camera on your head and stuff like that, then having 360 camera means that you're not gonna miss anything and you're not gonna have to worry about your camera pointing in the right direction. So there's definitely advantage to 360 video. It also allows for very unique shots and very unique angles and very unique things, but it is definitely a nice option to have that you can swap it out. For me, what's more exciting about the modularity, more than the 360, which is really good on this camera, but more on that in a bit, is the fact that you can swap this camera module out for a more telephoto, a more zoomed out, or even a more wide angle lens. And there's even a 6K camera module, so you can have really high resolution video being shot from a damn tiny little pocket action camera, which is awesome. One of the biggest limitations of something like a GoPro is that because it's not modular, you kind of are limited to whatever is built in and whatever lens and sensor combination that GoPro decided to put in their pocket action camera. With a camera like this, you have the damn option to swap things around, have the freedom to mess around and have creative freedom to get exactly what you need to get the right shot, which is super duper useful. On top of that, if any of these modules break, you don't have to replace the whole thing, you just have to replace one of the modules, which is going to be a lot cheaper than, you know, replacing the whole damn thing. Another thing is upgradability. So if there's any future releases and any new modules being released, you can easily swap them out and have an upgrade to your system without upgrading all your parts. And from what Insta360 have been doing, it's quite clear to see that they plan on supporting this standard, this system and this interface for a bit longer at the very least, so that's good to see. I mean, this is cross-compatible with all the Insta360R parts, which means if you are someone who already has the Insta360 One R and you just want the image upgrades that you get, like the auto HDR and all those different high frame rate functions that the RS gets, you can just buy this RS module and use your old lenses and old kind of sensor modules and you'll be fine. You can also use your old batteries on this as well, though obviously because the old ones are a bit smaller, you're gonna get less battery life. Another super awesome thing about this modularity is that you can swap this around. So as you can see, the screen is pointing away from the camera. So if I'm a cameraman, this is the ideal setup. But what if I'm vlogging? Well, I can just flip it upside down, then boom, the camera and the screen are on the same side, so I can then start vlogging, which is super duper dope. And if you look to the side here, there's a little flap and a little tab that you can then pull out, and that reveals a USB-C port and a micro SD card slot, which is awesome. So you can store all your footage on the micro SD card slot, and then the USB-C port is for charging if you don't want to use the external battery charger that you can purchase, or you can use it to power the pocket camera. You can use it to connect to a PC as a webcam, if I'm not wrong, and it's just a very versatile thing. But on top of that, you can plug in this little adapter, which they kindly sent me as well. And this little adapter, and what it allows you to do is basically you can plug in a mic, so you can have like a proper vlogging setup. And considering how decent the image quality on this is, you're gonna get a really nice vlog with it nevertheless. On top of that, some of the image modules you can get have image stabilization, so you can get a very nice stable vlog footage, walking shot kind of thing going on if you want to with the mic and everything. Now, what if you wanted to mount some stuff to this pocket camera? Well, there are a couple of options you can do here. Now, for one, you can just buy one of these hot shoe adapters and you can instantly just click it into place on top here, slide in a shotgun mic and connect one of these adapters and boom, vlogging setup. But the problem with that setup is that you're very limited in how you can mount this camera. You kind of just have to hold it because unfortunately, there's no mounting on the bottom here. I wish they do have some sort of like quick mounting, maybe it built into the next generation camera modules, like some sort of screw here. That'd be really useful, though it might make it unnecessarily bulky. So your other option then is to actually use something like this, the cage. So in terms of this cage, you can buy this from Insta360 as well. It's designed for the camera and it lines up perfectly. The cage goes on as simply as this. There you go. It slides on. And then now I have the cage equipped. Now the cage actually has another of those mounting holes, so you can put your shotgun mount here and have your mic mounted on top still, no problem. And on top of that, you basically give it another layer of kind of extra protection by having a case on, which is definitely useful. You still keep access to your SD card slot and USB-C port, which is really awesome. The only issue here is once you put the cage on, it's kind of almost impossible to use the USB-C mic jack adapter because there kind of isn't enough space. You see, it's a bit of a oversight there, you see. You can't really, well, it fits, but what ends up happening is this little rubber tab gets really stretched out. And of course, in terms of mounting systems, well, it kind of is like the same thing as the GoPro mount. So if you have any kind of GoPro compatible accessories, you can use it with this too. It's a screw that goes into like this little axle, so you can adjust the angle really, really easily. And then this one by default comes with a little 3/4 inch thread, so you can just mount it on a camera tripod, a vlog tripod, just carry it around like this, like a vlog camera on a vlog tripod, which is what I think a lot of people are gonna do with this camera. Now let's talk about using this camera, the image quality, and kind of the software things. Now, as far as I can tell, the software of this is really, really good. The app that you can use on it is available on both iPhone and Play Store, obviously. It's called Insta360 and it connects extremely quickly. Once you connect once, it kind of just auto-finds for itself and gets the job done. And the awesome thing about this Insta360 app is that once it's synced up, you can easily look at the footage that's stored on here and really quickly transfer footage over, so you can post it on Instagram or you can airdrop it to your laptop and start editing with it. Very, very convenient. Or you can just pull out the micro SD card and put it into a SD card reader if that is what you prefer to do. But on top of that, the app also has a lot of different, very interesting, unique functions that allow you to shoot very unique stuff with the camera. So especially with the 360 module, you have a lot of different 360 modes, so you can get creative shots. You can get like the little spherical shot, so it looks like you're on a little tiny planet. You can get the nose cam. For some reason, that is an option in Insta360's app. You can get basically anything under the sun with the Insta360 app for the 360 modes, especially. You got a lot of unique shots, which is great for creators trying to look for new creativity and stuff like that. As far as image quality goes, I only really received two models. The 360 camera module, which is the flow state stabilization 7.2mm lens equivalent f2.1, so kind of the latest one. And it's really awesome for stability. The flow state stabilization wonderful, and the image is really quite good for 360 cameras as far as those go. Now 360 cameras are still pretty limited in terms of how sharp their resolution can get, but as far as like pocket, budget, reasonably budget friendly 360 cameras go, the image quality is definitely quite nice. As for the 4K boost lens, which is the one I expect to use more often because I shoot, you know, flat screen content on YouTube and I'm not going to be really doing VR stuff, and I don't really find it super easy to edit 360 footage, especially on DaVinci Resolve and my MacBook. It's also really, really good. The image quality is sharp, the lens angle is just nice. It's like nice and wide so I can capture everything, but it's not too wide, it's fisheye. The image quality is good, and low light performance is actually quite respectable. Stabilization, I'm not sure if it's optical or digital, but it's also so damn good that it doesn't matter what it is, and you definitely don't need a gimbal with this, which is totally, totally awesome. As far as battery life goes and other types of usability, I mean, you can control a lot of different settings on this damn screen, which is super sick, and you can just quickly like swap things around, change your FPS, change your resolution, change your aspect ratio, change the color modes, and turn on and off HDR. And so that's really, really nice and really convenient usability. The screen is very bright. You can use it in bright Singaporean sun, no problem. The only problem with it is it's a little small. I get that they had to fit it on this module, and you don't really need that big of a screen on a little pocket point-and-shoot camera anyways, but I would have liked a slightly bigger screen with slightly less bezels next time. But either way, it is a nice screen, and it's also pretty overall quite enjoyable. Battery is also of little concern. It lasts pretty long, about 3 to 4 hours of continuous shooting out in the sun, out in the heat, which is definitely respectable, and you can easily swap them out for one. Number two, you can easily charge them via USB-C with this little charger that you can purchase, which is definitely sick. So you can charge 2 batteries at once. It's like a Nintendo Switch battery charger. So it snaps on like Joy-Cons and you just charge it via USB-C. Charges pretty fast, so you can always have a constant supply of freshly charged batteries, especially if you bring a power bank along with you, which is very important when traveling, so that's good. And with that, the Insta360 ONE RS. And in conclusion then, should you buy the Insta360 ONE RS? Well, this camera is definitely a great pick, and if you're considering getting it, it's definitely a good idea because, well, it's built well, it looks excellent, it's extremely easy to use with a very, very good app with many interesting, unique modes. The modularity is a great feature and great function. And the fact that you can swap out batteries so easily is also a big plus. Also, it seems like Insta360 plans to continue supporting this modular system for at least one more generation, from what I've seen from the rumors at least. Don't quote me on this. But if that's the case, then that's even better and all the more reason to get one of these cameras because, hey, you can easily upgrade to next generation modules and upgrade your parts very, very simply, which is awesome. All in all though, I'm glad that they did send me this camera. I'll definitely be bringing it with me to France when I go on holiday in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be a lot of fun shooting with this and getting additional footage as I dive to the ocean. That will be fun. With that, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.